All right, well done, people. Well done, people. So today it's a TBK podcast, and we're going to be talking about Ryan Garcia versus Luke Campbell. So we're just going to look into how we see the fight going, and we're gonna get some predictions. So first off, we got Tunde, we got David, we got Lawrence, and we got myself, Rash. So first off, I'm gonna ask Lawrence. Lawrence, how do you see this fight going, really? Because Ryan Garcia's been around. He's an up and coming prospect. Luke Campbell's been around just around world level as well. So how do you see the fight going?
Ryan Garcia all the way.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You know what it is. Yeah. Like, see Ryan. Yeah. I kind of feel like he's been kind of given a harder time out of the newer prospects coming up. You know, out of Teofimo Lopez, Gervonta Tank Davis, Sakur Stevenson, and Devon Haney. And I feel like Ryan Garcia has kind of been written off the most out of all of them. I don't know, but to be honest, I kind of see Ryan like, I think he's really talented, to be honest. I just think he needs to be developed in the right way. I don't think like he can be rushed along like some of the other guys. Yeah, do you know what I mean? He might be one of those guys who peak a little bit later. But I think that I think he's ready to take Luke Campbell, to be honest. You know what I mean? Okay. Like Luke Campbell, he's talented. You know, he's an Olympian. You know, he had a good showing against Lomachenko, but I mean, to be honest, like he lost every round.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, like we can say, yeah, like, you know, Luke, he looked rangy, he looked long, he looked good and that, but he lost every round. Like that's just the reality of it. And yeah, I think Luke might be a bit long in the tooth now, to be honest. You know what I mean? And he's quite young in the sport as well, but I just feel like, you know, it's different when there's a fighter who has that winner's mentality.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Luke Campbell, he's lost now. He knows what it's like to lose. He knows that Ryan Garcia is a superstar. And I think like mentally with boxing, you know, we often look at like the physical attributes of fighters and stuff like that, but like the boxing, it's a very mental thing as well. Yeah, do you know what I mean? And I just think mentally, I don't know if Luke Campbell has what it takes to kind of step over that line. Do you know what I'm saying?
Break that glass ceiling.
Yeah, like I'm not too sure, you know what I mean? So I'm going with Ryan, innit? Yeah, you know what I mean? I know what they say about him, and I know that people try to write him off, but I think he might actually have a good showing. I don't think he stopped Luke. I think it might go to like a decision. You know, if Luke does end up in trouble, I think Luke will, you know, he will know how to survive. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I see Ryan doing a number on him, to be honest.
Right. So let's go over to David. David, what about you? How do you see this fight going?
I kind of see it pretty much the same way, not just to sit on the fence or just to agree for the sake of it, but seeing Luke Campbell, I won't necessarily call him a gatekeeper, but I think he's lost what now, 3 fights, right?
Yeah, you're right.
He lost to who? Linares, Lomachenko, and Mendy.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so all right, he got his revenge against Mendy. The second fight was a walkover. But I think looking at one, what Loma did to Linares, and 2, what Loma did to him.
Yeah.
I've got a feeling that Garcia is going to be just a bit too hungry for him.
Right.
I've not watched Garcia extensively. Obviously, I know about him, and I'm more than aware of what he can do. You know, Luke Campbell, is it safe? He's getting slightly punch drained. His resistance is waning a little bit.
Yeah.
And I also think that, you know, especially I think with English Olympians, they tend to dine out on this Olympian thing for a little bit too long for me.
Right. Yeah.
And you know, people still talk about him being an Olympian, etc. Like the guy's long in the tooth now. He's had his fair share of fights. He's been in with pretty good opposition. I don't necessarily think he has enough to get over the line against somebody of Garcia's quality.
Right.
And you know, as Lawrence has mentioned, if you look at all 5 of the young stars, I think, to be honest, every one of them take him. I genuinely do. I don't know if he's necessarily got enough to, because what he'd have to do is rough them guys up.
Yeah.
But Campbell relies a lot on his skill.
Yeah, definitely.
And each one of them has that bit more skill than he does.
Yeah.
In different aspects, everything that he does good, I think every one of them does it better.
Okay.
And I do see Garcia beating him. It's a test, but I think he's one that will come through.
Right, Tunde. So, like, as we know, you're quite animated. So, how do you see this fight going?
I don't know if you're watching the same fighter, but I think that Campbell will snatch it.
Okay.
You're
so
crazy,
no
bro.
So, now you know what? I was hoping someone was going to say Campbell. So yeah, come on, like break it down for us.
So, like, I mean, normally the consensus is to go with the younger, hungrier, fresher prospect, when they challenge the older guy. But I just feel that Campbell's just got a little bit too much left in the tank for Garcia. I think that, Campbell is somebody who's gone in with, possibly 2 future Hall of Famers, definitely one in Lomachenko. But he lost both fights. However, I think you look at who Garcia's fought, and he's mostly fought tin cans, road sweepers, right? So it's easy to look good against the road sweepers. I'm not denying that he's got obvious talent and he's got very good hand speed, but I just think that unless Garcia is, top-notch elite, and we just haven't seen that come out yet, I don't see how he can beat Campbell. I think he hasn't had anyone near the caliber of Campbell. I think he's used to, just dealing everybody, with his all the previous opponents pretty much as he wanted to. He's not going to be able to do that with Campbell. And then, as Lee mentioned before, mentality comes into it. If by round 5, 6, 7, he's not, been able to put a dent into Campbell, then what's going to happen? He may thrive on it, or he may just sink into himself. I think it will go to points, but I think Campbell will snatch it. I will be shocked if Campbell, stops him. But I just feel that Campbell's just got a little bit too much for Garcia at this stage. Like, Campbell's fought he's had some really good opponents on his resume. Yes, he's lost against Linares and Lomachenko, but those are upper elite fighters. These are not, your ordinary world-class fighters. I agree with what David said in regards to, we're seeing a massive glut of very, very good lightweight prospects who do a lot of things very, very good. And if Campbell's fighting, say, like a Daney or another type of fight, then I'd be like, maybe it's a little bit too much. But Garcia, he's like a pretty boy with a little bit of power.
What was the guy? For the life of me, I can never remember his name. If you say it, then the guy who Gervonta Tank Davis fought and Garcia knocked him out.
Pedraza.
No, not Pedraza.
Foscana.
Right. Okay, I can never pronounce Foscana. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Now, Tunde describes Garcia's opponents as tin cans. Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Yeah. He ain't fought no big names yet. He's a prospect. He's on his way up. But I do think that his performance against Foscana was like a good measuring stick. The kind of trouble that he gave Gervonta Tank Davis.
Yeah, but sorry to cut you off, bro, but like just as a quick side note, in that fight, Gervonta looked off in it. He wasn't really Gervonta focused, didn't it? Do you know what I'm saying? He looked like he was on.
Gervonta was smoking weed that night. He was smoking weed that night. He was off his head.
All right, yeah, but I hear you. All right, cool.
He probably got a letter from
yeah. I know he was looking up at the clock and all of that. Yeah, all right, cool. Weird I get that. Yeah, man. I get that. But I'm just saying, the way how Garcia dispatched of him, after seeing him going up against a puncher like Gervonta Tank Davis, regardless of whether Gervonta was off or not, do you know what I mean? Like, Garcia looked good on that night. You can only judge him based on what's been put in front of him. And like I said, he's not a champion, like, you know what I mean? He is on the way up. Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So these kind of fights that he's taken, I feel like it's a decent, I wouldn't say it's a decent test, but I'll say it's a decent measuring stick to kind of see where he's at. Now, don't get me wrong, the Campbell fight is a massive step up in terms of all the opposition that he's been facing. But I honestly believe he's ready. Yeah, do you know what I mean? And the thing with Campbell, like let's talk about Campbell for a minute. What I worry about with Campbell is a similar thing with Kell Brook, yeah, where when Kell Brook was, he was undefeated. How far did he go? Like 39 fights or something like that, 38 fights or whatever, undefeated. And I feel like he asked himself the question, am I the best in the division? Yeah, I believe I might be the best. But then once he lost to Triple G, it was like, okay, I'm not the best at middleweight because I'm not a middleweight, but at welterweight, I'm the best. Then he's got beaten by Errol Spence, knockout. He's got beaten by Terence Crawford as well, where now he's saying to himself, okay, I know I'm no longer the best in the division. Yeah, do you know what I mean? I know I'm not the best. I lost to the better guys. Campbell, he's lost to Lomachenko. He's lost to Linares. He knows he's not the best guy in the division. So it's like, this is where I question certain fighters. Yeah. Garcia, he doesn't know that yet. Yeah, do you know what I mean? He might know with like the young guys that are coming up and stuff. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, because certain things happen in the gym and that. Yeah, but it's like he doesn't know that yet. He's playing that role yet of like that next superstar. Yeah, do you understand what I'm saying to you? Yeah, and listen, yeah, Garcia. He reminds me of like a young Oscar De La Hoya. And I know. Way. Listen, this is what I'm saying. No. Not in terms of. Okay, hold on, wait. Let me correct myself. Hold on, wait. Not in terms of his fight style. Yeah, I'm talking about in terms of his commercial appeal.
Okay.
Yeah. Just in terms of his commercial appeal and that, and where he could potentially go in the future, innit? Yeah, do you know what I mean? Why do you say no way? Why do you say no way?
Because Oscar was a completely, like, as much as we get onto Oscar now, yeah, Oscar was a completely different beast, man. Like, Oscar could fight like a motherfucker. Like, the way he was, he was beating top names. Like, he came through the Olympics and everything. He had a good amateur run, went through the Olympics, and he was beating guys like Chavez. He was beating, he had a lot of good fights. I know there's a lot more that I'm not mentioning, but he was a beast. And I don't feel like Ryan Garcia is that beast. But I think with I'm picking Ryan Garcia to win, but I feel like this is the fight that is really going to show his quality. We're gonna see what he's really made of in this fight. We've seen him knock guys out, and I think there was one fight, I can't remember who it was against, where he looked a bit shaky. The guy was rocking him. So from then, I think he looked a bit fragile. We've seen him get beat up by Rolly in the gym as well. Rolly's not very good either on a world level. Do you get what I'm saying? Like Rolly should have lost his last fight, and we've seen Ryan Garcia get beat up in sparring. But sparring. So
I don't take nothing from that. I don't take nothing.
Sparring don't mean nothing. So this fight is going to show where Ryan Garcia should be. He was meant to fight Linares I think it was in July, but then the fight didn't come to fruition because I feel like Ryan felt like he wasn't being paid enough during the pandemic, which to me personally I think is a bit crazy. But he obviously has a high sense of self-worth, which I think is good for a fighter to have, because it doesn't matter what anyone else says about you. You think you know what you're worth. Do you get what I'm saying? Sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't pay off, innit? But when you have a strong sense of self-worth, no one can tell you what you should be getting.
It worked out for Teo.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. Sometimes, like, say, example, like Andre Ward wanted a certain amount to rematch Kovalev. Everyone's like, oh, he's scared. He's this, that. Andre's like, all right, cool, whatever. He let people say what he's saying. He got the rematch with Kovalev, stopped him in the rematch. You know what I'm saying? Then it can go against you. Like, Dillian White didn't want to take the rematch with AJ for a certain amount because he felt like he was being shortchanged, and then unfortunately it didn't go in his favor. Do you know what I'm saying? But going back to my original point, I think Ryan Garcia should have a little bit too much in the tank for someone like Luke Campbell now. I think like we touched on this term gatekeeper. I think Luke Campbell is becoming a gatekeeper, and if he loses to the likes of Ryan Garcia, he's definitely a gatekeeper, because he's that solid fighter who comes to win, he comes to give you a good fight, but you know you can beat him, and if you beat him, you can get to that next stage, and that's where Ryan Garcia is going to want to be among his peers. He wants to fight the Tanks. He wants to fight the Haneys. I don't know if he wants to fight Teo, because I've never heard him call out Teo, but that's the type of level that he wants to be getting to. Do you know what I'm saying? So
Garcia's not ready for that level. He will get absolutely destroyed by any of those. Like,
I think he should target Haney, because him and Haney are probably the most stylistically similar. I still think Haney would beat him, But I think that's who he should be.
Haney will rinse him.
I feel that's the highest reward and the least risk fight for him to take at that level for now. But apparently he's going to be fighting Tank if he beats Luke Campbell, which I don't think is a good idea. I think he should stay away from someone like Tank.
He should not take that. He should not take that fight, because the thing is, if he takes that fight and like he's going to get torn up, and then he won't even be able to go into acting. He'll be finished. He'll be done.
And so he's not going to have the boyish pretty looks no more. No, Tank's going to write his face off.
After Tank. Tank will ruin those looks of his. He will ruin his face. Like you having a bubble. Tank will absolutely do him in every way. Like, listen.
Oh, mate.
All right. So anyway, we're gonna run this up. So final predictions. Who's it? So Tunde. What are you saying? Campbell, yeah.
Yeah,
David.
Campbell decision.
Yeah, I'm saying Garcia decision.
All right. Yeah, Lawrence. What are you saying? What's your final prediction, bro?
Come on, man. I don't even need to say, man. You know, hold on 2 seconds, yeah? You know, listen, yeah? You see the way how Tunde's talking? I don't really like the way Tunde's talking. He ain't putting no respect on Ryan's name, yeah? So, you know what I'm saying, yeah? Like, hey, Tunde, like, let's have a bet, innit? Let's have a bet right now, because you're saying Campbell. Let's have a bet. Name your price, innit?
Boy, that's the way. Big, that's some big man energy right there.
Listen. Why do you sound so invested though, bro? Look, Garcia is cool, yeah? He's cool. But he should be on Baywatch. He should be
my God.
on Days of Our Lives. He shouldn't be in no ring. Yeah? Right? Now, Campbell will beat him. Yeah? Campbell will beat him. Right? And if he doesn't beat, if he doesn't beat, in his head, he's gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm up there with the Haneys and the Lopez's and the Tanks. If he decides to go for Tank will ragdoll him before sparking him out, and then he won't be able to act no more. This is what I'm saying. So it's not even that I'm talking reckless. It's just the truth. And Lee, you know it's the truth. That's why you're vexed. Yeah.
Campbell is not Tank Davis. Yeah, Campbell is not Tank Davis. Yeah, do you know what I mean? If he was going up against Tank Davis, yeah, we'll be having a different conversation right now. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Yeah, if he was going up against any of the other hot prospects coming up, we'd be having a different conversation. But with Campbell, nah, I'm pretty confident. So yeah, Tunde, let's wrap this up. What's the bet?
Wow.
What's the bet?
Wow. Tunde, man, you got to put your money where your mouth is.
What?
20. All right, cool. 20 quid. Yeah, 20 quid. Yeah, after the fight and that, yeah, when we do the review, yeah, we talk about this. I'll send you my PayPal.
Okay, and when Campbell wins, yeah, when we do the breakdown of the fight, I will lead, yeah, and you will have to be there. You will be there, yeah? And we'll do a round by round account of where you went wrong, yeah. All right, cool.
Wicked.
Well, we heard it here first, anyway. So, yeah, my final prediction is gonna be Ryan Garcia, probably by decision, possible late knockout or TKO. But yeah. So anyway, you've been listening to TBK. Thank you for listening. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Peace.
And this is the TBK podcast.